Let's start at Anfield, Liverpool against Burnley. It looks comfortable on paper by 3-1. Was it?
At times it was. At 1-0 after Jota put Liverpool ahead, they looked comfortable. Burnley started the game well, but it took Liverpool 15, 20 minutes to get going. But then after that, as I said, they looked comfortable. And then they lost the goal just before half-time. Second half, again, Liverpool pushing. They go ahead, looking comfortable. And then a little spell of 5 minutes where Burnley had two fantastic chances. Fofana, the first one's a good save from Kelleher, and the second one, Fofana, he puts it wide. Then Liverpool go 3-1 up, and as you said, the scoreline looks comfortable. Núñez getting on the score sheet, and 3-1 on paper looks comfortable, but it was a little up and down. But the fact of the matter is, this time of the year, it's about winning the game, it's about getting the points, and that's what they did.
Yeah, you've been through it on so many occasions, isn't it? It's February time. It's not about how pretty it looks. It's about getting 3 points and moving on. And for Jurgen Klopp, without Mohamed Salah, his front three all scored. So a good day all round.
Yeah, I mean, anytime your front three all score in the same game, then that's perfect. Particularly when Mo Salah isn't on the field and isn't fit. You know, all the questions were, when he got injured, who's going to pick up the mantle? Well, the truth is, they've all done it. They've all scored goals, Jota, Luiz and Darwin Núñez. And they continued that today against a Burnley side that gave them a few opportunities. Goalkeeper made a few saves. But yeah, fantastic. When your front three all score, that's a good day.
What do you think Jurgen Klopp has learned from the last month to 6 weeks when he's been without his key players with regards to the strength of squad that he has, winning in the FA Cup at Arsenal and getting these results without Mohamed Salah, without Trent, who came back but was replaced at halftime in this one by Harvey Elliott? What's he learned about the character and the depth of the squad that he's got recently?
Well, I think he's learned that when he's had to make changes, the changes he's made have come good. They've all stepped up. You know, Elliott came on at half-time, made a difference. Curtis Jones went back to right back and was real solid. Endo came back today. You know, Kwanzaa, still inexperienced. Kelleher had to play. But yet, in the end, it was comfortable in the end. So, yeah, I mean, it's great that you can make that amount of changes, particularly with some inexperienced players like Kwanzaa and Kelleher in goal. But still get it done. And as we said, that's what it's about right now. It's about getting it done. And you could say that had they needed an extra gear, probably they would have had it, Liverpool. But yeah, the fact that they make so many changes and win this game, he knows that he can rely on his squad, not just to start the 11.
Final question about Liverpool before we move on to Manchester City. We don't know when Mohamed Salah will be back. It might be for double game week 25. It might be after that because they don't play in game week 26 because they've got the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. When he does come back, which of the front three might be more concerned about, okay, Salah's back, I might not start this one? Or will it just be a continuation of it's 3 from 4 and Salah +2?
Yeah, Salah +2. You can make a case for all of the other three that they should start. You can make a case that Luis Diaz is way better on the left-hand side than Darwin Núñez. You could also say that Darwin Núñez has been better through the middle. And where does that leave Jota? But the fact is that Jota's been scoring goals. So you really could sit down and make a case for all three that, as we say, when Salah's fit, it's Salah +2. Which way he goes, I really don't know. I don't think it's a mistake. Whichever way you go, I think that's the key. The fact that they've all been scoring when Mo Salah's been out. If you're Klopp, you can't make a mistake. It doesn't really matter which two it is. You're going to you're going to get it right. It's not going to be a mistake. There's not a bad choice, and there's not a wrong choice. So, yeah, who knows what's going on in Klopp's head, but the fact is that any two of those three are going to come in and do a great job.
So Liverpool win, Manchester City win as well. So there's still a 2-point gap at the top. Liverpool ahead, City with that game in hand. It was the early game, and it was basically Manchester City before Kevin De Bruyne came on and Manchester City after Kevin De Bruyne came on.
Yeah, I think there's no question that an early kickoff affects everybody, and particularly the best teams. I mean, Manchester City were asleep in the first half.
Yeah.
In fact, it took them to the 71st minute when Haaland scored to get a shot on target. I mean, it's so un-Manchester City-like. As you said, the fact that Kevin De Bruyne had been on the field for about 5 or 10 minutes before that, there was an upturn in the play. Things got a little sharper, things got a little bit more accurate. But yeah, for 70 minutes, they couldn't get a shot on target. And then what a shot it was, Haaland with his poor foot, shall we say, his right peg. I mean, he almost bust the net with it. Goalkeeper just had no chance, too much pace on it, couldn't react. And then 14 minutes later, Haaland seals the deal with a bit of strength to knock off Branthwaite, and then one-on-one with Pickford slots it past them. So, again, wasn't a great performance, but as we said about Liverpool, right now it's not about performance, it's about 3 points. And City deservedly got the 3 points, but gave the fans a little bit of an uncomfortable afternoon, certainly for 70 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was comfortable at the end, but you're right. Up until then, you could see the relief on Pep's face when they got the goal. As far as the team selection is concerned, like, he's got such a strong squad, and he thought, okay, Champions League in midweek, 3 days' time on Tuesday against Copenhagen. I'll give Kevin De Bruyne a rest, knowing that if we need him, he's on the bench. Same with Kyle Walker, and they did need them, but that says a lot about the strength and depth that Pep Guardiola has.
Yeah, no surprise. We know that. And the fact, even though he made so many changes and left his so-called big guns out, if you can say that about a City squad that's full of big guns, they got it done eventually. It was probably the poorest performance of the season, but they won 2-0 and they deservedly won. So, yeah, uncomfortable, but enough. That's all it's got to be.
Yeah, and that's a good word, uncomfortable, because it was until they scored. And a lot of credit should go towards Everton for that, because Tarkowski in the first half, our ESPN FC colleague Janusz Mihalik says he could block the sun right now the way that he's playing. He put out a tweet, and they were stopping everything, and they were well organised. But there's such a difference, isn't there, when you know you've got a 0-0 and you can play like that, and then you go a goal or two down, you've got to chase and spaces come out. It must be so hard, Stevie. You were on the other end of that. You were the ones that had most of the ball at Liverpool when you played. What's it like for teams that go to Liverpool, that go to Man City and Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, Spurs, knowing you're not going to see much of the ball and you've got to defend, and one slip and that could be it?
Well, that's the key. That's the answer. You can't afford to make any slips, because the ability of the players you're up against, the quality of the unit, the team, you know, the threat is all over the field. It's not just one or two people. Yes, Haaland popped up with 2 goals today, but they've got goal scorers and threats coming at you from all angles. So the key for anybody, particularly a side like Everton, who do rely on their strength and their physicality and their organisation, you can't afford any slip-ups. And I mean, the first goal, you couldn't even put it down to bad defending. There's challenges there. It just broke to Haaland, and he took advantage of it because of the ability he has, because of the quality he has, and because of that right peg that just smashed it past Pickford. And you knew as soon as the ball hit the net that was game over. Everton really didn't give an awful lot going forward, but that's not why they were there. Everton were there to stifle City. They did a good job of that. But you got to do it for 90 minutes, and you can't afford to give a team like City and Haaland an inch. And when you do, you get punished. And so that's what they ended up getting at the end of the game. Nothing for their endeavour. But it wasn't a surprise. We expected City to win this game. Just took them a little bit longer than we thought it would.